Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to share with you guys a story. It's a manifestation success story about how I manifested watching or attending a concert of one of my favorite bands of all time, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I actually manifested a free ticket. I didn't have to pay anything for watching the concert. So it was a really cool experience, cool manifestation. And I kind of just want to share with you guys the story of the state that I was in and how I kind of just followed my intuition and manifested this. So, for those of you who don't know, I'm a big fan of the band Red Hot Chili Peppers. I am actually a musician myself, and probably one of my top three guitarists of all time is John Frusciante, who is the guitarist for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. And I've been a big fan of the band ever since I was a kid, ever since I was maybe, started listening to music. I love the Red Hot Chili Peppers songs, and eventually, when I started getting into playing guitar, I started listening to a lot of John Frusciante. Now, John Frusciante, the lead guitarist of the band Red Hot Chili Peppers, he actually left the band in 2009, and he left the band for about 10 years, and they replaced him with another guitarist, Josh Klinghoffer. And I remember around circa 2018, somewhere around that time, I was watching a lot of old videos of the Red Hot Chili Peppers when they had John Frusciante in the lineup. And I remember telling myself, if John Frusciante ever joins the Red Hot Chili Peppers, if he ever comes back to the band and rejoins, I am going to watch them perform live. And I remember telling myself that with this conviction that if that ever happened, if he ever rejoined the band, I would be there watching them live. Sort of like a bucket list sort of thing. So, this is about 2018, I told myself this. In 2019, I believe the end of 2019, or it was the beginning of 2020, I don't remember exactly when, but the Red Hot Chili Peppers announced that John Frusciante, after taking a 10 or 11 year hiatus from the band, was rejoining the band, and that the band was going to go on a world tour. So I knew that this was, sort of my opportunity to watch the band again. Now, this was about, 2021. The band announced that they would be performing a world tour and passing through Los Angeles, performing in the SoFi Stadium, which is the newly built football stadium for the Rams. And the band announced, I think it was around October of 2021, the band announced that they were playing a show in the SoFi Stadium in July of 2022. And I believe they had just released the tickets for sale. Now, I did not feel drawn to purchase any tickets when the tickets first came out. And I was just following my gut intuition. I did a visualization where I imagined myself in the SoFi Stadium, and I imagined myself with my friends who are also big Red Hot Chili Peppers fans. And they're actually in the band that I play with, so the Red Hot Chili Peppers are a huge influence for all of us. And I imagined us in the SoFi Stadium, and I imagined myself in the sea of people, in the crowd, and I imagined myself, jumping up and down, celebrating with my friends. And I also imagined looking up on stage and looking up at one of the stage monitors, the TV monitors, if you want to call it. And on that monitor was one of my favorite guitarists of all time, John Frusciante, shredding on his Stratocaster. So I visualized that. I saw it. I felt it as real. I felt the excitement behind that image, that imagery, and I released that imaginal act, and I fell asleep. And for me, it was like, okay, I know I'm going to this concert. There was a conviction inside of me. I know that I was going to that concert. Now, this was around October, and during that time, I was actually visiting my cousin in Colorado, near Boulder. And I remember on one day in particular, my cousin and I went on a hike, on like a 5-mile hike or something like that. And I didn't have any cell phone reception or anything like that. And we go on this hike, and then we come back, and it's already dark, and we drive back to his house, and I start getting my cell phone reception back. And I get these messages from hours before, and from one of my good friends saying that he was buying the tickets to the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert, and he was asking me if I wanted to get a ticket, if I wanted him to buy a ticket for him. Obviously, I didn't respond because I was out hiking with no cell phone reception. So the last message he sends is, I bought the tickets, but I didn't buy one for you because I wasn't sure if you wanted one. And for me, it didn't really bother me, or it really didn't sway me in any sort of way, because I had this conviction that I'm going to that concert, but I didn't feel led to buy any tickets, and I didn't judge what just happened. This situation where my friend was buying the tickets, and he asked me if I wanted him to buy a ticket, but I had no cell phone reception, so I didn't respond. He bought the tickets and didn't buy me a ticket. I did not feel moved to do anything still. I still had this conviction that I was going to the concert. So eventually, a few months passed. This was in October 2021. The concert's in July of 2022. Few months pass. We go all the way fast forward to just a month before the concert. I think this was like June. And again, I did nothing. I did not do any research. I didn't go on any websites browsing, looking for tickets. I didn't do any of that stuff. They still had plenty of tickets available for sale, but for some reason, I did not feel led to buy any tickets. This was in June, and one of my other friends, who was supposed to go with my other friend who bought all the tickets to the concert, he tells him that he's not gonna use the ticket that my friend bought for him because he wants to go to the concert with his mom and sit with his mom. So he had bought 2 tickets for himself and his mother. And so my friend, he had an extra ticket. So he asks me, do you want this ticket, this extra ticket that I have? And of course, I say yes, and I was expecting to pay for the ticket. That was what I was expecting, and I was totally and completely fine with it. All I knew was I'm going to that concert. So he says, cool. And July rolls around, the day of the concert, and we go over to the SoFi Stadium. We take an Uber over there, and we enter the stadium, and we go to our seats. And funny enough, we didn't really like how the seats, how the sound sounded at our seats where we were having our tickets. So we said, you know what? Why don't we walk down to the lower level of the stadium and see if there's some open seats? It's worth a try. So we walked down 2 levels to the bottom floor of the stadium. And on our way to walking down to the lower levels of the stadium, we actually run into my friend and his mom. And they were seated in different seats. And we run into them, and they say, we don't like how the sound sounds at our seats either. So we tell them we're going to go down and see if there's any open seats at the lower levels. So now we have all of our friends, my other friend and his mom, all together. And we walk down to the lower level. And eventually we come across a section of seats that are completely open. Nobody's sitting there. The concert's about to start. And for some reason, I felt like this is where we're supposed to sit. And it was way further up front, closer to the sound. The sound was much better, closer to the stage. And there was a whole row of seats. And I said, let's sit down here. And we were actually able to sit down there in those seats for the entirety of the concert, no one bothering us. And it was one of the most memorable and amazing concerts that I've attended. Just, I think mainly because of how much memories I have listening to the band, how many conversations I've had about the band and their live performances with my friends. And then to be with my friends who, you know, we all love the band. We've loved that band for many years. They've had such a big influence on us musically. You know, I did shed a tear actually during one of the solos that John Frusciante was ripping. And, you know, just how I saw the imaginal act in my mind months before of the energy of the stadium, me with my friends jumping up and down, and then looking out at the monitor, seeing John Frusciante playing his Stratocaster guitar, it manifested exactly that way. And I looked up at the monitor, there was John Frusciante ripping a solo on his Stratocaster guitar. So it happened beautifully, and we got pictures, the whole thing. It was an amazing night, a memorable night. So the night ends, and the morning after, you know, I fully expected to pay for these tickets. I still hadn't paid my friend for these tickets. And I text him, I say, hey, how much do I owe you for the ticket? And, you know, he didn't respond for a few hours. I was fully ready to pay him. And I think it was in the nighttime or something like that. He responds. I get a response from him, and he says, hey, don't worry about paying for the tickets. #abundance. So it was an amazing gift, you know, and I didn't have to pay for the ticket, you know. It was a gift from him. Even though I really wanted to pay, but it just goes to show that our imagination does in fact create our reality. You know, being able to go to one of your favorite bands of all time and see their concert after your favorite guitarist in that band leaves the band for 10 years and then comes back to the band. They announce a world tour. They're coming through your city in a new stadium, the SoFi Stadium. And I don't lift a finger, but I know with a conviction that I'm going to see them. And then having all the events play out to the point where I'm meeting up with all my friends in the SoFi Stadium. We get prime seats and we watch the full concert. You know, it manifested beautifully and it manifested perfectly. And it's just another lesson that our imagination does in fact create our reality. And, you know, when you have a conviction of something inside of you, there's no need to be worried about if you're going to get something. You know, with this particular scenario and circumstance, I had such a strong conviction that I'm going to that concert, and that that what I had seen in my imagination would become manifest. So that's just a story I wanted to share with you guys, just to reinforce that our imagination creates reality. And when you have conviction about something, that it's going to happen, it's going to happen, you know. And you don't have to change your state for anything that happens externally if you have that conviction inside of you that it's done. It's a done deal. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I hope you enjoyed that story. And I'll be looking forward to sharing a few other stories that I've had. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.